My question is, when we croak and then we come back, do we have to start all over again? As far as our awareness of law of attraction and inner being? Because I don't want to do that.
You're asking a question from two different vantage points. Everything that you're living is causing this expansion of who you really are. And who you really are is going to, again, project yourself into this physical experience. And for the benefit of continuity, there will be that readjusting. But the thing that we want you to remember, you see, the answer to that question is yes, you have to start over. But wait, hear us out on this. Yes, you have to start over, which is a problem to humans who don't get into the receiving mode, because then they don't have the benefit of all that they really know. But as soon as you get into the receiving mode, you have the benefit of all that you know. And when you're born, you are in the receiving mode. It takes a long time for other humans to talk you out of the receiving mode. You see what we're getting at? All the animals of your planet are in the receiving mode. Humans call them instinctive or instinctual because of the way they instinctively know what to do. Well, you do too. But humans get used to listening to other humans instead of listening to the guidance that comes forth from within. So the separation or the discomfort that comes from, in essence, starting over has to do with how long it takes you to figure out that you care about feeling good. And that gets easier and easier and easier as more on the planet know it and talk about it and teach it, so that it's possible that you could come back in your next experience and meet up with somebody who has been to one of these seminars, and they could remind you of it early on in your experience, and you wouldn't have to go through 30 or 40 or 50 years of disconnection, you see.
That's what I'm hoping for.
It's really fun for us to see some of you come back and find in a library somewhere a book you wrote before.
Well, I find that it's interesting because I've kind of been on a spiritual journey, and I was so interested in everything, and going to psychics and learning from gurus, and everything was helpful, but I felt like I was zipping through it, getting what I needed, and then going, I don't need that anymore, and moving on. And then I just really discovered this in May or June, and it was like, oh, this is it. But I realized as I've been going through it, I wasn't ready to be ready. It wouldn't have worked for me before. And now, as I listen every day, it's a complete addiction. I come up with, when I knew I was coming, and I just knew I was going to get picked, and I had all these questions. I'm like, oh, check that one off, check that one off. Every day there's something new that gets answered for me. And sometimes I feel, because of my age, and I'm looking at retiring and all that, I don't have big job issues or things like that. And I just think, well, something major should be out there. I'm like, no, it's okay. They're just little, like you said, every little day-to-day things that happen that all of a sudden I'll be like,
oh,
wow.
What a wonderful project it is that you have when you discover that life has got a vortex full of things that could keep you busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes. And then you tap into your resources where you're in the receiving mode, where you get to witness those things coming about. You're not going to find yourself wishing for more responsibility.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like reading a good book and you can't wait to get to the end, but you don't want to get to the end. It's just so beautiful to see.
That's one of the things that we like so much. Esther wondered for quite a while. Esther can feel the clarity of what we teach, and she knows about tuning in, and she would hear us talking about how the universe will continue to surprise and delight you. And she thought, well, how can the universe surprise and delight me if I'm a deliberate creator? If I'm asking for what I want, if life is helping me know what I want, then how could I be surprised and delighted? And we say, because of the unique way that things come about, and because of the combination of beings, and because of the way the path unfolds, and because of the cleverness and expertise and brilliance of the source within you, who in one moment in time can deliver 10 or 20 things that you care about simultaneously. Humans think so much more linearly and selectively, where the source within you is a multidimensional being that is dealing with many things simultaneously. And when you tap into that and you start following those impulses, your ability to be surprised and delighted just gets greater and greater. And each time you are, then your expectation of it becomes keener still, which makes you even more receptive to it and more receptive to it, until people who are watching you just can hardly believe that these kind of things can happen to you. Then you find yourself, instead of craving groups of people in order to stave off your loneliness, you enjoy your independence, where you are in the moment free to follow the impulse. Because when you're moving through life on your own and you receive an impulse and you follow it, rather than having to get the 10 or 20 or 30 people that are moving through life with you to come with you, it is quite exhilarating to see what excellent timing you might have, and the number of things in even 1 hour, let alone 1 day, let alone 1 week, let alone 1 month, let alone 1 year, that can converge just to satisfy you.
Right, and that's what it's like, and it's so amazing. And I have something that's unfolding now for the end of the week, and my family is like, "Oh, Mom," and they keep showing me these alerts and this and that, and I'm like, just picture yourself sitting by the pool with a drink. It's going to be wonderful. We're going to have a great time. Have you seen this? Have you looked? Everyone's showing me all this stuff, and I'm like, it's going to be fine. Just be happy. Feel good about it. And they're like, and it's just, I'm like, I don't want to hear it. And it's just
well, it's a good feeling to know that you're free floating enough that the universe will orchestrate what you want for you. And if you are free floating enough in terms of receiving and responding to what you're receiving, then you'll always be at the right place at the right time about everything. It might not be the place you planned, but it will be as good or gooder than that was.
Yes. Yeah.
Enough?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I love you.
Really good.